All right, what's going on, fight fans? Hey, this is Coach D. You know what it is. We are finally got caught up from Singapore. We had a great time. We had so much going on that we couldn't wait to tell you. So we are finally catching up, and we're going to be able to get it in. So, of course, I'm Darrin Eaddy, a.k.a. Coach D, and Justin
Brown, USFMMA.
There you go. I was going to mess up his official title. So what we're going to do today, this is all simple, laid back. There's two guys telling you what's going on. So now we're going to catch you up. What happened in Singapore? What made it so great of an experience, not only for us, but for the fighters, and what it means to the sport of MMA and the progression of amateur mixed martial arts. So we're going to start off with, so Justin, catch everybody up. What was the experience like in Singapore, and what did it mean to amateur fighters?
Yeah, so what we did, for those who don't know, is in November, we took a U.S. national team all the way to Singapore for the GAMA, the Global Association of Mixed Martial Arts. Their amateur world championships that took place there. It was in partnership with One Championship, and it was a beautiful venue. It was an awesome, awesome place to be, and it was super fun. So we took the U.S. team there, and we placed third overall out of all the teams that were invited. There was over 60-plus countries that were invited to compete, and we placed third behind Australia and Ukraine. So we did good overall, 2 gold medals, 1 silver, and still a lot more to accomplish in 2020 moving into it. But going back to Singapore, it was an awesome experience, and hopefully you guys got to see some of the videos and some of the marketing and things that happened globally. Our brand was all over the world.
So explain to them what is GAMA and what is GAMA designed to do.
Sure. GAMA's goal is to help achieve Olympic recognition for the sport of MMA. I know I've kind of talked about that for years, going back with other organizations and what's trying to be accomplished, but there's never been a better shot than what's being offered right now through GAMA and through One Championship. I think they've got a leg in to do a lot of things. There's other organizations working towards that as well. But I'm excited with the path that we're on. We're the sole authority to solicit a U.S. national team to compete, and that's what it is. So that's what their mission is, and we represent the USA Federation.
All right. So now let's talk about One Championship, since they're backing GAMA, and they had a purse of $100,000 to the winners of both the male and the female category. So has that ever been done before, or is that something we're breaking new ground?
No, not that I'm aware of, other than professional athletes. Clearly professionals can be paid, amateurs cannot be paid. So what they did is One Championship stepped up and gave 2 $100,000 contracts away to standout athletes at the tournament. It wasn't specifically set up for just man and woman. That's what they were trying to do. But had there have been 2 standout athletes, they would have accepted that. But they put it in, and everyone got to vote. All the officials and staff with GAMA and some representatives from One Championship were there, and they took a standout female athlete and a standout male athlete, and they gave them a $100,000 contract to turn professional under the One Championship banner. Now, what that did is it wasn't just a $100,000 contract. It was a 5-fight contract. So what One Championship's doing is helping to develop these athletes moving into the pro ranks and all the way up into the highest levels of One Championship. So they're doing it right, and I'm excited for these athletes to get that opportunity. We didn't get one from the USA this year, but we will have our opportunities, and I promise you, we've got some tremendous athletes that are going to be gunning for it in 2020.
Exactly. So what that all means is that if everybody who's been an amateur deciding to go pro, it was always like, well, I want to hurry up and go pro because there's not enough opportunities for amateurs. But now we're showing you not so much a fast track, but now you know that there is a prize at the end of your journey. So if you stay at amateurs and compete on a regular basis and compete on an international level, now at the end of it, you can compete under GAMA umbrella. On top of that, you can win a $100,000 contract. So you can see it's growing each and every day. So now we're caught up in 220. What can we expect to see happening in 2020?
Oh, we've got so much going on starting the year. It's only January, and I can't even mention a lot of the things that we have. We've got sponsors that have jumped at the opportunity to want to help our U.S. team. To be candid with you, this is my 5th year, almost 6th year now, going into working on an amateur platform for Olympic development in mixed martial arts. And this will be the first year that I think that we're going to be able to fully fund a U.S. national team to compete at the World Championships. We've got that many sponsors that have offered to help out. We're going to roll out a big marketing campaign, a big sponsorship campaign. We've got more backing. You guys have seen the names who have backed us up. The Pettis brothers and Angela Hill, Dominic Cruz, and Tyrone Woodley, all these other athletes who have stepped up and helped us. Angela KGB Lee. And several others, so Andy Nian and some others. But anyway, so we've got this huge book of people wanting to help us out, and that's actually gotten us over that hump where people are recognizing who we are and what we're doing. So we're very thankful for that. So again, I think in this year we corrected our biggest hurdle, which was the financial issue with these amateur athletes who just couldn't afford themselves to fly around the world to compete. So,
all right,
we'll be able to help them out.
We're on track.
Mm-hmm.
So now, explain what are the qualifications for an amateur fighter to be able to compete on the national and international level, and what do we look to see happen with these fighters? To also be picked up by USFMMA.
Sure. So right now we're actually on the verge of announcing it. We can't do it yet because legally we have to have permission from the state that we're going to operate in for the national championship tournament. We should have that in the next day or two. We're fully anticipating to announce our national championship tournament by Friday of this week.
Okay.
So that's what we're looking to do. Be on the lookout for that. It's going to be similar to what you've seen in the past, but just done with tremendous amount of more support from all over the place. So we're going to have a lot of the superstars within the professional ranks, a lot of major organizations. You're going to see the One Championship logo in support of what we're doing to accomplish the U.S. Federation goals. Gamma's logo will be on there. We've got permission from everybody that's supporting us, so we're excited. So be on the lookout for that in the next couple of days. We're going to announce nationals. We're going to do 16 weight classes. 8 athletes per weight class bracket, so it's 3 days of competition. We're debating the final steps of how we're going to do that. We may make it down into 2 days, where they fight twice, one day and then one for the day of finals, just to kind of prepare them for what you see if you do get to the World Championship stage, where you had to fight multiple times in one day. But we will announce all those national tournament guidelines in the next couple of days.
All right, so can you give us a basic qualification? I mean, how many fights does the amateur have to win,
Sure,
or have one to be able to be eligible for, or does that even matter?
No, it does matter. So we don't accept any applications. We're not going to allow anyone to compete who doesn't have at least 3 amateur fights. And that may mean you fought kickboxing or Muay Thai or boxing or some other high level of combat sports. So we don't want to limit you if you've had Muay Thai fights and maybe only 1 MMA fight. So if you can prove that you've had at least 3 high level combat sports interactions, then we'll go ahead and review your application. But we have a full board of directors who have been involved in the sport for a long time, so we know what we're looking for. We want to keep everybody safe. We do want to have an open round where anyone can just apply to come in. But again, you have to realize you're going to face some of the best in the world. So we don't want to put you in an environment where you're not going to be successful and you could be hurt. So safety is paramount with everybody. So we need to make sure that you're qualified to compete, not just at the nationals, but also at the world level. So we'll review the applications as they come in. But I can tell you as a minimum guideline, we want to see at least 3 combat sports bouts on record.
Okay, so are we going to cover all weight classes to both male and female?
We are, yeah. So there'll be 10 male and 6 female, I believe.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
All right, can you talk about some of the countries that we may be eligible to compete in?
Sure. Well, this year there's a lot in discussion. The ones that are finalized is the Oceanic Open will be in Australia this year. That's coming up in April. To be honest, I don't know what we're going to have funding-wise for a team to be able to go. That's a very expensive plane ticket, although I want to really, really go, and hopefully we can focus on that. But I don't know if we're going to be able to pull it off by April, candidly, for our current team. We'll throw it out there to our team who competed last year and see if there's any athletes who want to go. But the funding is going to be almost negligible. There's going to be not a lot for us to share to help them out. So it's going to be an expensive venture. But the World Championships is supposed to be announced. It's going to be in Kuwait in the first week of December, which is awesome. There's a great promotion there called GFC. Those guys have been around a while. It's Wawan Protein, a big company, owns that. The guy's been doing fights for close to 10 years out there, and he does a great show. So we're excited to see his partnership with Gamma. They also run a huge Kuwait federation that's equivalent to ours and what we're doing. So we're excited, and they're going to be hosting the World Championships this year there.
Okay. So let's lay it all out. So what we're going to do, we're going to lay it all out so people can kind of understand what all this means. As we always saying, we're trying to get Olympic recognition. Can you explain, what are the steps for Olympic recognition, especially with a new sport?
Sure.
Qualifying.
There's a lot of steps, but I'll break it down in the most simple terms. There's 3 major steps that have to happen. The first step, and these first 2 can be done in either order, but it's usually easier to get WADA, to become a WADA signatory. And what WADA is the World Anti-Doping Agency. So what that means is your international federation has to prove that they've created guidelines that are consistent with to become a WADA signatory. So you got to have all the steps in place, and you got to prove that you're doing it. So that's something that you have to apply for, and you get accepted as a WADA signatory. Once you're a WADA signatory, you can then become part of GASIF. It's the Global Association of International Sports Federations. That's a mouthful, but it's called GASIF, however you want to say it. But what they do is they approve the international sports bodies that can compete for the Olympic Games. Right? So you have to become those first 2 steps. You have to be WADA signatory. Your international federation has to be approved by GASIF, and then you can become an international Olympic Committee recognized sport.
Now, how far off are we? Are we really far off, or we're in the ballpark? This for the fans, so we got an idea that this is what we're striving for. At the end of the day, this is what we want to see happen for the future.
Right. Well, there's a lot of politics involved between it. So I think I know there was the organization IMAF who I worked with for a lot in the past, and they submitted an application for observer status under GASIF and to become a WADA signatory, and they've been denied multiple times. For whatever reasons, I'm not a part of that, so I'm not really sure. Gotcha. So I know GAMA is another MMA body that is now on the international side, so they're giving it a go to try to achieve that Olympic recognition, and I think they've got a leg in a lot of other regards because these people are involved in other Olympic sports, and they have a lot of the people backing them and the people in the right place to try to push that forward to make it happen. So I think GAMA's got a leg in. So right now they've applied to be under GASIF. It's pending. We don't know what the outcome of that is. Rarely does anyone ever get approved on the first application? But you generally submit guidelines back to what they want to see and what they want to have you accomplish, and then you kind of go from there. As long as the lines of communication are open and they're willing to discuss how you can be involved in GASIF and WADA, then that's really what you're looking for, and I think that GAMA's done that so far. Okay, so with amateur MMA now, dealing with GAMA and one championship, what can we pay attention to now? Like when it comes to, as they say, anti-doping, weight cutting. What are some of the things that are on the table for amateurs as well? Well, they're trying to keep amateurs safer. So as you talk about weight cutting for one, we're doing a hydration testing now at the international level. So when you get there, there's going to be hydration testing. So instead of just doing your local test at the amateur level, you don't see that kind of money spent. You don't see that level of hydration testing being done anywhere, except maybe in California and a couple of states that have a little bit more funding. Nevada, I don't know if they do it, but they have a lot of funding for their amateur programs as well. But really, outside of that, not a lot of states are willing to put that money towards anything. So, and the promotions don't have that kind of money to offer the doping testing. But again, it's state to state here; it's different. But when you get to the international level, you're going to see it more pronounced that you're going to have to start doing anti-doping. All the medalists I know in a lot of places have to do that, and that's going to be what we move to. I think in the next year is that all our medalists and select others will have to start doing anti-doping at any international competition.
Okay, so you see, the game is being stepped up. No matter how you look at it, just being an amateur is just not a name anymore. You have to be quality all the way around. Only thing different between amateur and pro is the title. You know what I'm saying? You still got to be a quality athlete. You still got to make sure you watch your weight. You can't get popped for nothing. So, we're raising the game all the way around. So with our platform, what will be the steps? Like, can you qualify at a local show and then you have to qualify at nationals, or can you just go right to national to international?
Yeah, we'd be jumping pretty far ahead to say that's what we want to do. But ideally, in the long run, of course, that's what we want to have happen is start having regional competitions, state level, regional, and then national competition, similar to what you see with USA Boxing, USA Wrestling, all these organizations. We're nowhere near that level yet. For us, we've broken the U.S. up into 8 specific regions, which you can see on our website, USFMMA.org, for those who want to see some of our information. But there's 8 specific regions. So ideally, we want to have a representative at nationals, one from each specific region, and that's why it's broken up the way it is currently. So right now, we're pushing really to just even get one athlete per region represented at nationals. So when we get to that level and we have extra athletes, now we know we can start building on regional qualifiers and even state qualifiers. But I think that's going to be a long way down the road. But for us, for step one, we got to find a proper way to build our U.S. national team. Now that we have the funding and athletes don't have to come out of pocket, I think we're going to get a lot more push behind us for what we're doing. Okay.
So once you're say right now we're having our national competition in March.
It's looking to be the last weekend in March. But which is coming up quick. So we got to get it announced hopefully by Friday, Monday at the latest.
So once they qualify for that, they're eligible for that whole year to compete internationally and things like on that nature?
Right. It actually goes over a little bit. So it depends on the cycle of when we do nationals. So really, the team that makes our team up for 2020 will still be the team until we make another team. Right?
I got you.
So our team from 2019, if they decided they wanted to compete, any of those guys who wanted to compete at the Oceanic Open coming up in April, we would offer them that opportunity to still compete.
I got you.
Because our 2020 team can't come directly off a couple weeks after nationals and then spend some money to go to Australia that they didn't know if they won a spot. So it goes a little bit beyond 1 year, but really until we make the next team is that cycle.
Okay. So now you have the basic understanding of where we're going, what we're trying to do. Explain to sponsors how they can get involved. How can people get involved with USFMMA?
Contact us. We have a whole promotional package that's going to be coming out. You guys are going to see it. There's a marketing deck and a phenomenal sponsorship package that we have coming out. We've had some big help on this and some big names behind it. So we've got this beautiful package that's coming out, and we've already landed several sponsors with it. We're just waiting to finalize the paperwork side of it, so we can actually take those in hand and accept the money. But we've been offered a substantial amount of sponsors, so we've got a lot to offer. We've I don't know if you guys saw our pictures from one championship and all our pictures from Gamma, the World Championships, but our uniforms went all over the world.
Yeah.
So many people wanted pictures with the U.S. national team, and it took media from all around the world saw us. And Last Strike Fitness was one of our sponsors last year, and I appreciate them stepping forward and helping us out short notice last year. And their logo was front and center on our uniforms, and it went all over the world. So people had questions, and it was awesome to see. So this year we have a lot more spots opening up, and several of those front spots are already taken up. So
yeah, you got to act fast.
The sponsorship's coming up.
But I will say this from the media side: not only was the experience awesome, but the level of competition, worldwide is you have to see it to believe it. Not to say when you're part of a small town and you're training with a small group, you don't realize how much opportunity you have as an amateur, because it was never shown this way. It was never explained to you this way. The platform for an amateur is huge. I mean, is a you can rise to the top before ever going pro just by being an amateur and following the fast track that we're laying out for you. So that's what we're doing, these ongoing, conversations and podcasts to get as much information as we out, so all the fighters who are seeking to take this path, that it can work for you. You can be on bigger platforms, and the world can know who you are, even though you're still amateur. So that's what we recommend. Get involved, register, go to the website, see what we have to offer, and get involved. Because all you have to do is get involved, and you'll be surprised of what's out there for you that you can be a part of.
So for the sponsors, to be truthful, we can't do this without you guys. So our revenue streams come from several different sources. So our memberships, so our athletes and coaches and gyms and those people who join our organization is $35 a year, and those membership money goes directly back to the athletes, advisory council. They control those funds, and that's how the athletes get their travel stipends and other things to try to compete. And the other thing is sanctioning, but sanctioning brings in very little. We may bring in a couple $1,000s a year in sanctioning. That's not nearly enough to pay for our overhead of operation of the organization. So the biggest thing that we can do is obtain sponsorships. So without those sponsorships and those companies stepping forward and individuals stepping forward with donations, we wouldn't be able to even fund a U.S. national team in any capacity. So we thank you guys for at least looking at the opportunities to sponsor us, and maybe we can help you guys as well get some recognition on the global stage. Maybe you're just an MMA fan and want to help out, but we appreciate it. Just take a look at what we have to offer from the sponsorship packages, and I think you'd be impressed.
And also look at how the competition can catapult you, into going pro. Like I said, we talk about Laura Sanchez all day long.
Yeah, Laura Sanchez is one of our pros that just came off of a gold medal championship win in Singapore in November, and she just had her pro debut this last weekend. She was a total domination KO, and she has a substantial professional contract that's about to hit her desk in a couple of days that I've already heard about. Coach D has not heard about it yet.
Not heard about it.
And it's private. It's not my place to discuss that. But I do know that she has that pending. So I'm excited for her. So we're excited. On top of that, we've got other people. Sergio Pettis, who endorses us as well, had a massive win in Bellator this weekend. Yeah. So that was a big show out, and he's a big supporter of ours as well. So you're going to see him sharing a lot more of our stuff as well, and his brother Anthony Pettis. Coach Duke Rufus is on our coaches commission, and we've just got these phenomenal push. So Quentin Thomas, another gold medal winner.
Yep.
He had his pro debut this last weekend. He's been fighting over in Thailand, competing over in Thailand, and he just took his pro debut after winning a gold medal at the world stage, and it was a total domination for him as well. So we've got Sean Stebbins. He's about to have his second pro fight with LFA. He did a pro debut with LFA. His second pro fight is going to be with LFA. And these opportunities come because of the platform they've put themselves on as amateurs, and they've raised their stake. They've raised their global awareness. These larger promotions now know who they are. And I'm excited for them. They've earned every bit of it. Fotini Candris, she's discussing her pro debut. She just won gold medal last year. Lanisha Vincent won gold medal and then silver medal again in 2019. So she's got some opportunities, I'm sure, that are going to be coming her way as well soon when she discusses going pro. And I'm excited to see where all these athletes go.
And this is all international stardom. You know what I'm saying? When you look at it, you go, oh, all we think about the United States, we don't even recognize that people know you all around the world. So many people knew Lanisha Vincent when she got over to Singapore. I mean, she had her own fan base of people who couldn't speak English, but they knew her name and they knew She-Hulk. So you talk about international recognition. So by no means do not undermine your opportunities that you have in front of you with USFMMA. All you got to do is take that leap. Come with us, man. Come get into the bus with us and take this ride. So what do you want to leave with?
2020, we've got some big things to announce, and we're excited for where our amateur program's going. Become a part of it. Anyone who wants to help, please help out. There's lots of opportunities to help out on committees, commissions, anything else that you want to do. Feel free to get involved. That's what I recommend, is get involved. And coaches and clubs, make sure you reach out and get some more information about what we're offering and what we're doing, because we've kind of come over the biggest obstacle of the financial side of it for the athletes. So yeah, we're excited to offer that, and we're excited to see you guys. So yeah, get involved.
All right. Once again, just give us websites, how they can contact us, how can they reach us, emails, everything.
All our social media is USFMMA. Same thing with our website, USFMMA.org. We go by our acronym, so you can find us on all the social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. So you can find us on there. Make sure you add us, give us a like, and you can find all the information on there as well. Our website's USFMMA.org.
You got it. Once again, I'm Darrin Eaddy, aka Coach D. I'm hanging out with
Justin Brown, USFMMA.
All right, you heard it. Nonstop, big things. Just keep tuned. You see what's going to happen next. Take care.